So the big question is, can we take a look at this year being your year and say, I'm all in? There's an example in the Old Testament about being all in, and it involves a prophet named Elijah and the 8th king of Judah back in the Old Testament times, before Jesus' times, the 8th king of Judah, whose name was Jehoash. Elijah was this amazing prophet because he had a deep and personal relationship with God. And because he knew God so closely, so intimately, he led his country through some very tough times. Everyone knew that Elijah's leadership could cause big changes, and Jehoash knew it as well. Jehoash was the king of Israel, Judah, at the time, and he faced a problem. Israel was constantly at war. Jehoash wanted to end the wars. He wanted to end the bloodshed. So, if you take a look in the Old Testament, in the second book of Kings, chapter 13, we learn that Jehoash heard that Elijah was on his deathbed. And then Jehoash knew that if Elijah had died, then the chance of winning died with him. So Jehoash went to Elijah and he wept on the floor, screaming, Elijah, Elijah, war is coming and you're dying. What are we going to do? Elijah decided to test Jehoash, and he gave him this most unusual advice. Usually when prophets or other people are speaking from God, sometimes that information can seem unusual. Elijah told Jehoash to go grab his bow and arrows. Those were the weapons of the day. And Jehoash did just that. Then Elijah told him to shoot an arrow eastward, and Jehoash shot the arrow. Elijah cast a vision for Jehoash. The arrow that you shoot is where your victory is. You will fight your enemies until you've made an end of them. The vision that Elijah was giving was clear. Jehoash's goal would not be complete until he defeated everyone. That was pretty unsettling news. Jehoash probably just wanted a magical solution. God just, could send a magical thunderstorm and strike down the other people's armies. But instead, Elijah told him that he was going to have to work like crazy to make it happen. Now this part's the important part. Elijah moved on and told Jehoash, now take your arrows and strike the ground with them. So Elijah took out his arrows and he struck them on the ground 3 times. When Elijah saw what Jehoash had done, he was super angry. He said, why'd you only strike the ground 3 times? Why don't you strike the ground 5 times or 6 times? Because of what you've done, you will only defeat your enemies 3 times. The arrows that Jehoash had were a test of how much he was going to invest in his mission. Elijah wanted to see if Jehoash was all in, but Jehoash fell short of what had become available to him. Jehoash was willing to give him some of what he needed to accomplish the task. That's why Elijah was angry, and that's why we're always disappointed with ourselves. Are you willing to invest everything you have to accomplish your goals? If God gave you arrows that represented your vision, how many times would you strike the ground for your mission? Vision tells us where to go, but if you're not all in, there's no point in trying.